Welcome back to MVP's What the F***
What the f?
What the f***?
What the f?
Paranormal Podcast, where we talk about, well, everything the paranormal encompasses. So you ready? Let's fucking do this.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Evan here with Mel and Wes. And if you're tuning in this evening, then you know what the deal is. Tonight, we're talking about your worst nightmares, the man-eating monsters. So settle into your comfy chairs with a nice warm glass of whiskey, because whether you're ready or not, it's story time, fuckers.
So, Evan, talk to me, bro. What you got?
Well, I got a couple stories to tell you guys about some interesting critters in the world that have allegedly killed people and or eaten, maimed, something like along those lines.
So I noticed you said world. Does that mean we're going to take a trip around the world?
We are.
Ooh.
Yeah. So first on our list is called the Beast of Gévaudan.
Oh, that's a fancy word.
Yeah, it's a place in France, apparently.
Right.
I don't know.
I am familiar with this.
Are you?
I am, yes.
This is a cool story, man. So the Beast of Gévaudan is a creature that is allegedly responsible for at least 60 human deaths during the 1760s in France. Some reports put this number at over 100 deaths.
What?
Oh, yeah. So some of the locals originally believed, and probably maybe still do, I don't know, that it was a werewolf, or more specifically, a sorcerer that shapeshifted into a werewolf type creature in order to feed on human flesh.
Another shapeshifter?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a werewolf.
Yeah, that's what they, that's what they thought, or they believed, or maybe still do. I don't know. But descriptions of it were so varied at the time that most researchers, believe that there had to be at least two of these creatures, because they were getting such wildly different descriptions of this thing, especially of the color of its fur. Sometimes it was described as like red with gray patches on it, or a big gray patch all over it, or to be red with stripes all over it. Most of the times it was like red, black, and white colors, though. But it was also said to remind the witnesses that seen this thing, it was that reminded them of like a bear or a hyena and a wolf and a panther, like all combined into one, like all at one time.
How would you?
God, that's so many things.
How would you even combine those?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess it had like features of each of those things, all along its body. And some people even said it had like this panther-like tail that was so strong that it could use it as a weapon.
That
hell yeah.
That I wouldn't doubt. Have you guys ever been hit with like a long dog tail of like a boxer?
Maybe just a pit bull tail?
Or a boxer.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Those things are devastating.
Yeah, they're the shin killers for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But some people said that it had cloven hooves on it. But, others say that this thing had claws that were so heavy and thick that it just merely resembled hooves. So it's hard to, really pinpoint what this thing actually looked like.
Did they do any drawings or anything of it?
I think there are some drawings out there, yeah.
So the head would be what?
I think the head's more like a wolf hyena kind of looking thing. Maybe with like the body of a bear and the tail of a panther. Yeah, sounds wild. I'm just saying.
Because the feet would be horse hooves, right?
Or it's either hooves or like claws so thick that they just were mistaken for hooves.
Is it bipedal?
I mean, who's really like standing there taking the sir, can you hold on? I really have to look at these hooves. Yeah. Oh, those are claws. You're right.
Listen. I don't need your sass. I'm just trying to get a visual.
I'm just saying, that dude's trying not to die, and you're like, look at the hooves.
Can you tell me what its feet look like?
Well,
how long is that tail?
I don't like you.
Man.
Join my fan club.
You may have a sparsely attended funeral.
No,
damn.
Do continue.
So this thing's first documented kill occurred on June 30th, 1764, when a mostly eaten, like flesh eaten off of her. 14-year-old shepherdess was discovered in the woods. Whatever killed her had preferred human flesh to all of the lambs and baby lambs that she had been herding around. It just ate her, none of the lambs.
Oh, they spared the good stuff and just said,
just took the human.
Damn.
Yeah. So after that, it was like this long string of these similar deaths that kept happening all around the area. And majority of the deaths were all women and children.
That's kind of sus, don't you think?
I mean, a little bit, but
no men. No.
Not that I know of. Not that the story goes anyways. So this beast, terrorized this area for like 3 years, leaving more than 100 people dead, and many more were maimed by it.
Ooh, maimed by it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So people had encounters with this, like direct attacked encounters.
Allegedly
survived.
Yeah.
And that's where we're getting all these jacked up descriptions.
Yeah. That's what I gathered. Yeah.
Interesting.
It says that all of the survivors weren't sure of what sort of creature had attacked them. Most of them were reported it to be like, they said, like a wolf, but not a wolf. That's literally the description they gave. So,
okay.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, many of these peasants and country folk were superstitious and believed in creatures like witches and werewolves. So it wasn't long after all of this was, taking place that stories began to circulate around that they were under attack from something much crazier than just some ordinary wolf. So eventually, during this time, the court of King Louis the 15th, I believe, sent royal hunters out into this area to capture and or kill this beast, and the reward for that beast's head was up to, like, I think at one point it got up to like 10,000, I don't know how you say that word, liveries, I don't know,
livre or livre.
Anyway, it was well worth over like $500,000 today.
Jesus.
Yeah, like it was a big bounty on this thing's head.
For the head of a panther wolf?
Yeah.
Jeez, man. I want to hunt one right now.
I know, man.
You think that reward is still payable?
I don't think so.
Just head on over, man, and put this hunt on.
So this bounty, obviously, it attracted all kinds of people from far and wide to come and, put their hand in and try and hunt down this beast. And there were a bunch of different sightings of it. And the beast had apparently been shot on several different occasions, but each time it escaped, unscathed or wasn't hurt enough to kill it. The hunters that were out there taking part in all of this, they ended up killing lots of wolves. And they even went so far as using poison to kill, whole wolf packs at a time. Even after killing all of these wolves in the area, all of the beast's killings continued.
Well, clearly somebody didn't get the memo that it looked like a wolf but wasn't a wolf.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like a wolf, but it's not a wolf. So stop killing the fucking wolves.
Yeah. So in the spring of 1767 was, that was the last year that these killings were going on. But at this time, during the spring of 1767, this beast was eating people on a weekly basis. At least one person a week was getting eaten by this thing. And so in the summer of 1767, this guy named Jean Chastel, he was one of the wolf hunters that were there, and he killed this large, like abnormally large, extremely strange looking wolf. It didn't look like a normal wolf. Apparently it had a bunch of abnormalities all over it. And it definitely wasn't common to any of the wolves that they had in the local region there. Allegedly, this guy shot this animal with ammunition that he had melted down from a silver medal of the Virgin Mary.
There it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There
it is. The werewolf story. Allegedly. That's according to the legend, so who knows if that's actually true or not. But this guy really did kill a really big, strange looking wolf. And after he killed this wolf, these killings did stop.
After he killed this big giant wolf.
After he killed this giant, deformed looking panther wolf. Yeah.
Yes, the were-panther wolf.
Panther, bear, horse, wolf.
Yeah.
Yes, don't forget about the hooves.
Apparently, the wolf that he killed had this unusual black and red fur all over it, and several morphological differences, like he had real short front legs on him.
So he was just deformed. So maybe he was just angry because none of the other wolves wanted to play with him, and he felt like he had something to prove.
Look, he ain't fucking the murderous Rudolph.
It ain't Rudolph. Yeah, come on, man.
I mean, maybe
None of the other wolves wanted to play with him.
You don't know.
I don't. I wasn't there.
So the real shitty part of this whole story is this guy, Jean Chastel, didn't receive any of that reward or reverence for killing this wolf.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure he was a local hero, though.
He was.
He probably didn't have to pay at the brothel.
Okay.
No, fuck the hero
Know what I
bullshit.
mean?
Where's the money?
That's what I'm saying. That was a lot of cash back then.
That's a good amount of cash right now.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Do you think he kept the wolf? Do you think he took it to the taxidermist?
Apparently he did. Apparently they did mount it at the taxidermist.
Yes, good for you.
Yeah.
See, so he got his prize, man. He's a hunter.
Yeah.
He knows why he's out there.
He's just doing his best.
Yeah, he's doing his job,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Just an unsung hero.
after he killed this thing, the attacks did end. And while it was assumed that this beast that Chastel did kill was the beast, many doubts remained that was merely just a wolf. Like, a lot of people doubted that it was a wolf that he actually killed. They thought it was something else.
Like the locals?
Yeah, all the locals said that's no wolf.
That's a panther wolf.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it ain't no wolf.
So what do you think? Do you think it was this crazy jacked up wolf this dude shot, or do you think they were just dealing with a serial killer and they also had wolves?
That's a really hard, that's a hard thing
You
to
know what
tell
I mean?
because, have you ever heard of a lone wolf killing over 100 people over the course of 3 years? Like, that's crazy, dude. That's a lot of people to be murdering over 3 years.
Yeah, but I mean, people would be, relatively easy prey, if it was, a solo wolf and he didn't have the help of the pack and all of that, it would be easier to transition to people.
And it was the 1700s. We didn't have modern weapons and stuff yet. I mean, if you're out there with a musket and you miss, like, well,
hold on. Let me reload.
Let me take 5 minutes to reload this bad boy.
Also, can you hold up your hooves? I'd like to investigate.
Yeah, man.
Just let me reload this musket. We give you a pedicure. I don't know.
Shit.
I think, just based on the conversation, there's probably a pretty good chance, that they just happen to have wolves, but they were dealing with some ruthless fucking serial killer, man. They had their own Jack the Ripper going on.
I mean, that kind of, would make more sense to me than some supernatural wolf running around, murdering people. But I don't know. You never know.
Although, man, if they got this thing, if he got it stuffed, like he did the taxidermy work on this thing, why can't we see this? Is this still in existence?
Apparently,
like, are there any paintings of this?
I believe it's in some museum, to be honest with you.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
But black and red fur, I mean, that's spot on with a lot of the people's descriptions that had encounters with it, right?
Yeah, that's what they said was black and red fur.
Like red as in like red, or red as in like ginger?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm thinking like a deep wine red.
Yeah, maybe a burgundy.
Yeah, burgundy.
Maybe a good Merlot.
We're stupid.
Oh, man.
Oh, only on Sundays.
So it ended after he shot him and stuffed it.
Yeah. So, yeah, the killings, the mass killings around the area in the region ended after this guy shot this thing.
Or maybe he was the serial killer.
Ooh.
Was he a local or did he come in from outside?
He came in from out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
See?
So I don't know.
He did it.
Guilty.
Guilty
Let's
as
move on.
charged. Next case.
Hang him.
Oh, man. So fun story. It's a cool story. It's interesting. You never know what was real, what wasn't real. But it was documented that all those killings and murders did happen in that region of France during that time.
Yeah, I knew about the werewolf aspect, but I never deep dove into it, so I didn't find out all these little tidbits of information.
It's rooted in history. It's not just like word of mouth. It's actually been documented
Yeah.
in historical record.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting, man.
When you can find that in history, I think that's far more fascinating than some of the bullshit that people make up.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, if you enjoyed that, you'll really enjoy this next one.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Stay tuned, folks.
All right.
you tickled my fancy.
So this next story hits a little closer to home here. This one comes to us out of the great states of Kentucky and Tennessee.
Oh shit! I know where you're going.
This is the beast of the land between the lakes.
He went there. Oh my god!
So those of you out there that are listening that don't know, Land Between the Lakes is a what is it? Is it just a national park, or is it
I
like
think it is.
wildlife management
Yeah.
area, or all in one kind of thing?
I think it's kind of a mix between those. Yeah,
Anyway,
but it's
a
like
park.
350,000 acres. Man.
Yeah, and it's split between Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley.
Yeah, it's a national forest.
There we go.
It's a gem.
Mhm.
I love it out there. It's awesome.
incredible. It's a beautiful place. Really is.
Mhm.
It's just right down the road from us. So, anyways, there's this alleged creature that roams out there that they call the Beast of LBL. And this thing is said to resemble a gigantic, like 7 feet tall, half man, half wolf that walks on 2 legs and has 5-fingered human hands with vicious claws on them, kind of thing.
What's
You
with
got
the
my attention.
wolves?
Hey,
So
the
many
wolves are
wolves.
freaking
They're
scary.
freaking scary, man.
Yeah.
They're scary. That's what's up with them.
And a 7-foot tall one that walks like a man. That's really scary.
Probably wouldn't be as scared if he was like it's a 7-foot tall goat. Like you wouldn't be as scared of that.
I mean, that would be
or
terrifying.
7-foot tall poodle. I don't know. That would be scary as well. Actually, yeah. I'm not messing with a 7-foot poodle. Yeah, that's bad. I don't know. I guess anything 7-foot tall.
That's
would
what
be
I
kinda
was thinking.
scary.
Anything
pretty
7
much,
feet
man.
tall. Do proceed.
This thing apparently has massive crushing jaws and glowing eyes. And some people claim it to be some sort of Native American skinwalker type thing. I don't know.
Of
What?
course.
I don't know where they're getting that from, but who knows? Anyways, early accounts from French explorers and traders in this region say that they were warned of some thing that the Shawnee fur traders warned them about called, I don't know how to say this word. I'm just going to say it. It's like loup-garou.
Loup-garou from French.
I don't know how you say that.
Loup-garou.
I think you nailed it.
Anyways, the Shawnee traders out there, warned them of this crazy creature in the region. And a later legend claims that this monster is the spirit of a shape-shifting Shawnee shaman who was killed in wolf form by the inhabitants of his village for like abusing powers or something. His spirit is said to still walk the woods in search of revenge.
Yeah.
So, other accounts of this beast of LBL from the early days of American expansion into Kentucky tell of lots of hunters disappearing in the woods, strange and unnatural howls that echoed through the night in the forest. And during this time, there was like bison that still roamed wild in Kentucky, I believe. And the hunters would sometimes encounter these mutilated carcasses of these bison that were lying just like half eaten, and their throats had been ripped open by these massive claw marks.
Dun dun dun.
Now, who's to say that wasn't just a pack of wolves or coyotes or something else that was, roaming around killing these bison back in the day? I don't know.
Well, in the beginning of the 20th century, this is the story that I heard when I first got to Fort Campbell. They said that it was the beginning of the 20th century, early 1900s. There was like this there was this group of old folks, and they were sharing their encounters of the beast of LBL. And one guy said that he was running out of one of his horse stalls because he was trying to hurry up and get all of the animals into the stalls.
Mhm.
And the beast of LBL stopped right in front of his, spread out its arms like it was going to grab him. It howled.
Or maybe hug him.
You know, wolves need hugs. They're angry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what, I don't know. He's lonely.
Could be. The other wolves didn't want to play with him. So anyway, it spread its arms out like it wanted to grab him. But then at the last minute, it howled and then ran past him into the sunset. And he said he wet his overalls during the episode.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well,
And
now you know he's not bullshitting, man, because nobody's saying they pissed
not
their
in the
pants
early 1900s.
just to say it.
In the early 1900s, a man ain't going to say, I wet my overalls unless he wet his overalls.
Mhm.
Another man said that he would hear it wail a lot at night, but it didn't sound like a wolf or a coyote. It was more deeper, longer, stronger sounding than would come out of any animal that he had ever heard. So
I heard it, man.
you've heard it?
Well, I mean, I heard something.
Stop it.
Yeah, at Land Between the Lakes. Yep, swear to God.
Tell it.
Tell the story?
No.
I don't want to. Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, tell
went
us. Of
out-
course, tell them. What are we talking about here?
All right. So I was deer hunting, man. I was deer hunting, and I was deer hunting on the Kentucky side of LBL, and I went out. We were still working together, Evan, at the store.
Okay.
And I took off after work, so I had maybe an hour to hunt, but I drive all the way out there. I get out of my truck. I got my climbing stand on my back, and I'm walking down the edge of this. It was already harvested corn at the time, so it's just an empty field. Walking down the edge of the field, it's probably, I don't know, 200-300 yards long. And I'm about 2/3 of the way back there. And the woods was just dead, man. It was super quiet. And it was more like a roar, than a howl. But it was super deep, and it was really, really loud, man. Almost more like when you hear cows moo, they do that real deep freaking moo,
Mhm.
It was kind of like that, but guttural. I don't know really how to explain it, but it came from behind me back the way that I parked my truck, and I stopped there for a minute and was like, what the hell was that? And it did it again. And I just walked back to the truck, and I threw my climber in, and I went home. I didn't even hunt that night. As a matter of fact, I've never hunted out there since, man.
Stop. So for those that don't know, like if Wes isn't going to hunt out somewhere, there's got to be a
Yeah,
reason.
There's a problem.
I won't go back. I won't go back, man.
Really?
And I don't know what it was, but there's no cattle. There's nothing out there. There's nothing in those woods that can even make that freaking noise, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was.
Have you
It's
guys
really
ever heard of
weird.
Jan's Tales?
No.
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 Jan's Tales is stories put together of experiences. It's a collection by this person named Jan Thompson. And they're as from what I could find, they were like the original source I could find for the Beast of LBL.
Oh.
Well, apparently Thompson stated that in the early 1980s, they used to work midnight at the gas station that was just like right by the Kentucky Dam. And
Mhm.
it's right in the beginning of LBL in Grand Rivers. Well,
Yeah.
he had two visitors that made him think they were possibly werewolves, but he thinks it's more like the Beast of LBL.
Okay.
He said after he started to shake so bad that he couldn't take it anymore. And it was him and I guess like two officers or something that were stuck there for like 8 hours because they were too afraid to leave the booth. The two officers, one was like shaking and was in a state of shock and confusion.
So
And
wait, hold on. Pause.
Mhm.
these guys were running like a convenience store thing, where this guy was, and there was two officers in there with him.
That ran in
And there
with
was
them.
like werewolves outside of this convenience store.
Well, from what I understood, Thompson would hear them. Okay. And
Yeah.
he wasn't sure. He was in the gas station. I don't know if Jan Thompson is a male or a female, so I'm just going to say he. But anyway, the two officers ran inside the gas station and they were scared shitless. And
Oh, so they heard it and then ran inside?
well, he heard it. Jan Thompson heard it. Then the two officers ran in. One officer had to sit on the curb to put his head between his legs and vomit. And the other officer came in.
What the hell?
Yeah. To get some water for his partner. There were no other customers. And the officers said, I don't even know how to put this. They saw this like nasty shadow like thing that would wait around the corner. And they tried to call for help, but they didn't know if anybody was going to believe them of what they saw. And it was kind of like a cross between a werewolf, but they got that feeling that it was intelligent and it was going to do them harm. They wanted to warn the campers and everything else like that and call for backup. But when they went to one camping area, everybody was dead.
Oh, yeah.
you-
No,
I
I'm
got
tracking.
you. Yeah,
I'm tracking what you're talking
in the
about.
motorhome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so when the cops went in there to warn people, hey, there might be wolves in the area or we're hearing these strange noises, everybody was dead. They had been ripped to shreds.
Yeah. They found it was a motorhome. There was 4 people in there, I believe.
Yeah. There was the motorhome, the frame had been torn. The doors were hanging by one hinge, like kind of crooked. And then when they looked through the window, they could see some sort of zigzagged movements. And then there were bloody handprints that slid down the thin metal walls. And there was blood everywhere. The people were ripped up inside. That what used to be 3 bodies. It was a family on a happy vacation, but the clothing was ripped. Their bodies and the body parts were not just separated, but they had been torn out of the sockets. And that takes a lot of strength. That's not just something you just do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was a pile of bowels. All of their bowels were put in a pile with pieces of loose flesh still clinging to the muscle.
I mean, you don't want to eat that.
No, you can put that over there to the side. That's a scrap pile.
It was a father, a mother, and a young son.
I had read that there was a daughter as well.
Yeah, found in the tree.
Yeah, the daughter's half-eaten body was lodged up in a tree. Yeah.
Yeah, like 20 feet in the tree. Like it was way up there, tucked up in a saddle or whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I read something that whole police incident was supposedly or allegedly somehow like covered up by the authorities.
Yeah, by the men in black.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, something about a cover up for that whole incident, but I haven't read too much into that. I don't know much about that.
Dude, I tried to find the like the police reports and just something, man. I couldn't find nothing. Nothing.
They said that they looked at maybe, could it have been a bobcat, a bear? Could it have been wolves?
Well, the coroner said it couldn't have been a bear because I guess the bite pattern that they found, the snout would have been far too elongated to even be a bear, even if it was a bear, which it couldn't be a bear.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't think there's any bears around here. I mean, I guess there's like black bears
airdropping them in,
out in East Tennessee. That's wild.
It was the coroner that was just like, well, it can't be this. It's not a bobcat, or it would have had this. And
ain't no bobcat tearing people's limbs out of their sockets.
Not to mention, keep in mind their bowels were put in a pile.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was like a mountain lion's not going to do all of that. Like that's
no, but I mean, it would tuck your ass up in a tree.
That is one thing it would do.
And then Jan Thompson said that he or she, whatever it was, they could hear it, so they didn't want to leave the gas station before the police officers ran in, and they said it sounded like a kind of a growl, but it had like a clicking sound and a rough clicking growl, as if it's like kind of like a car with a bad muffler, they said.
Have you
That's-
heard the story about the same beast from the 1973, the group of Murray State University
college
students?
kids?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't get the full story. I just knew it was a bunch of kids from Murray College.
Yeah, from Murray State up there. They went out there in LBL and, went camping. They were driving this old VW bus out there. This was 1973 after all. So,
Whoa. Were they hippies?
I mean,
Pure rock stars.
I hope so.
Well, if they were hippies, it's because, that smell of patchouli and stuff. It attracts bear / horse panther dogs.
Wrong story.
It attracts hooven beasts.
Hooven beasts.
That sound like cars with bad mufflers.
Yeah. So in the middle of the night out there, these kids, these college kids are, camping in the middle of the night. They hear these like shuffling sounds around their campsite, and it's moving all around, in the leaves. They get out and they shine their flashlights around. They don't see nothing. They're like, "What the hell is that? That's weird." And then all of a sudden, they start hearing these deafening howling sounds, like so close, right up next to them. And it was wild and insane howling. It was like all around them, all at one time. They were like, it's like a wolf howl, but like with unnatural, like blood curdling quality that sounded almost like laughter at times.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. So these dudes, obviously scared shitless, playing it smart, they ran to the van or, the VW bus. They take off, tearing down the road. They're hauling ass. And then all of a sudden in the taillights behind them, they see that there's this shadowy figure chasing after them, chasing them down. It's barely visible back there. And as they take the corner, leaving out of the campground area and headed down the road, they feel this massive jolt into the side of the bus. They peel free of it and they get all the way. They didn't stop at all. They drove all the way back to campus, didn't even stop once. They get all the way back to campus and they see these massive like claw marks torn down through the metal next to the engine compartment of the bus.
You know what that reminds me of? Jeepers Creepers.
Hell yeah, it does. Scary as shit.
And they're in like this Coke can of a vehicle.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Bro. And those VW buses, they can only go so fast.
Yeah.
You don't know. That one might have been souped up.
Yeah, he might have turbocharged it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, twin turbos.
So that one is left, unknown. Nobody knows what the hell that is. Ain't nothing been killed out there that was crazy. No wolves, no deers
man, and like,
killed.
How much time do we spend out there, man? So
A
much
lot.
time.
Yeah.
That like howl thing that I heard, that's the only thing. I've never ran into this thing. I've never seen it,
Yeah, I mean, like you said
hopefully
earlier,
I never do.
350,000 acres. Like,
it's so big.
it's a
dude.
massive chunk of land.
But it is crazy and it is creepy.
It's very creepy, it's kind of like just lingers in the back of your mind every time you go out there and you're walking around in the woods, especially at dark. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're like 2.5 miles back and you're walking back with a red lens flashlight,
Yeah. You're like, oh, man, this is a bad
You start
idea.
thinking about all the things that are real, You're like, oh, man, these hogs, or damn cougars and coyotes. And then you start thinking about, the shit that you don't know.
The beast.
The beast. It's always in the back of your mind.
If there's any cryptid in LBL, it wouldn't be a Bigfoot or just a basic werewolf. It needs to be something special. Just needs a better description. That's all.
Well, you don't get a lot of descriptions from this thing because it kills everybody it comes in contact
Bro, it had a
with,
whole bunch of college students in VW van.
It tried to kill them. They
Yeah.
just, they got away. The power
And
of the
you think
VW
not-
bus was too strong.
Number one,
twin turbos.
there's no power in VW buses. Number two, come on. You don't think there's not one person in that fucking bus that wasn't looking out the window saying, it's getting closer. It's almost here.
I mean, I'm
Really?
pretty sure
Everybody
Nah,
was
man, this
looking.
ain't a horror movie.
Everybody's looking forward. No, they're good.
Safety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Safety
and they
first,
all
then
had their
teamwork.
seatbelts on.
They definitely didn't smoke any weed that night either.
Not at all. Yeah.
None.
What? Or no, they did LSD
Or acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were dropping tabs.
Turns out there was no beast.
No,
was no
they were.
beast
It was
at
a
all.
Claw marks was
bad
just
trip.
the tree they hit.
It was a bad trip. That's all it was.
So, Mel, did you have anything that you wanted to add into this?
I did find a Hindu flesh-eating monster,
Interesting.
Hindu.
Yeah.
All right. Lay it
Yeah.
on us.
but apparently it's pretty big, and they're called rakshasas. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
In Hindu mythology, they are bloodthirsty demons that were banished from the realm of the gods, and they have to live on earth as some sort of beast, and they make mankind its prey. They are as evil can be, and they claim that a few of them formed alliances with noble armies and fought in battle with them back in
Really?
ancient
Okay.
times.
All right. You've piqued my interest.
That's badass.
Yeah.
There's actually lots of sculptures and paintings of rakshasas. So their shape is basically human, but they're exceptionally tall, like giants almost. Their limbs are like twice as thick as a regular person's, but they have fangs that come out of the corner of their lips. They've got claws for fingers and toes. They have bull-like horns that grow from not just the sides of their head, it can come from the front or the back,
Like a unicorn?
but there's multiple horns because
Ah.
it's a weapon as well. Their eyes are kind of like piggish, but they glow and they have manes, and the stronger ones have multiple heads.
What?
They fly, they spit fire, they possess dead corpses, and then will use those to attack
Oh.
the enemies.
Fucking
Oh my God.
necromancers
Come on.
now?
We've got to draw. Yeah, we got to draw the line somewhere.
Listen.
These things can't just do everything.
Yes, they can. And
Apparently
they
they
use
can.
magic their magic is illusion,
Now they're tricksters too?
but they're extremely difficult to kill.
I imagine.
They get their strength at night, but they have an insatiable taste for human flesh.
Insatiable taste for the dead. Cue Rob Zombie.
Dead girl.
Not only do Hindus believe in this, but Buddhists do as well. And Buddhists claim that the Buddha himself encountered one who threatened to eat the Buddha if he couldn't answer the riddles. But, Buddha is all knowing. And so they were able to protect it. The females, they make themselves super beautiful to lure in the men, and then they eat them alive.
Dang.
What?
They eat them alive from the middle.
It's good that they don't start eating you at the feet, though.
Yeah,
know?
that would be frowned upon. But
Yeah,
they
that would
want
be
you.
terrible.
That would suck.
The thing is they want you to suffer.
Mm.
Then they should start at the feet.
Yeah, they're fucking up.
No, they
Mhm.
start they rip your innards out, and then they torture you as they eat you.
Yeah, but I'm not going to suffer
That's
for very
messed up.
long if you're ripping my innards out. I'm going
Yeah.
to die
You'd
pretty
be
quickly.
surprised.
You want
That
me
is
to
not
suffer?
true.
You start at my toes.
A person can live for a while even though they've been abdominally eviscerated.
I guess you would be the one to know.
I would. Wait, that came across really weird, people. That came across really weird. I don't eat innards.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it did. That was weird as fuck.
The end.
Allegedly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a weird, creepy
I never heard of that.
demon
Mhm.
goblin creature, whatever the hell it is. I got another short one we could talk
Ooh,
about if you guys
ooh,
want to
ooh,
go for
yeah.
it.
Go.
All right. So this one
Jesus, Mel, you cracked me up.
comes to us from Eastern South Africa, and this is known as I don't quite know how to say this word, but it's
Malawi.
Malawi. I think it's a place, an area, region in Africa. The
Nailed it.
Malawi terror beast is what they call it. So it was located in the district of Dawa.
Are you talking about Malawi, like the country?
Yeah, Malawi.
Oh,
That's it.
okay.
The country. Yes. I don't know how to say these things, man. I'm
Okay.
not from
Oh.
Africa.
Okay. This is true because you're very white.
Yeah, white as shit. Anyways, in 2003, this thing caused some pretty widespread panic and chaos all across this region.
Did you say
You said
2003?
2003?
Yeah, very recent. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, I did.
All right.
So this actually resulted in several deaths and prompted military action within the region. So in the district of Dawa in eastern South Africa, some reports emerged of an unidentified animal attacking and mauling residents in the region. The unidentified creature attacked 19 different residents and killed 3 of them.
Whoa.
At first. And so this, naturally, this is an area of the world where animal attacks are, quite common. We're talking about Africa here. So, however, it was, the brutal ways in which these people were killed and maimed that struck fear into basically the entire nation there. The 3 deaths that it started with were of 2 elderly women and a 3-year-old baby. Each of these people had their skulls completely crushed in, and their intestines and their genitals were all devoured.
Close! That's disgusting!
Tastes pretty good to me.
That's weird. Like, that's just a weird place to start.
Yeah, very weird. Very freaking weird.
They ate their weewas?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it was, two elderly ladies and a baby.
Some hoo-has and some wee-was.
Yeah. So it crushed their skulls in, like down to the, meat. Just nothing but a pile of meat there, and then ate their intestines and all of their privates.
Jesus. And that was it? That's how they left? That's how
it left them, just like that. Skulls crushed in, intestines and privates were eaten, nothing else.
What do you think happened first?
I'm going to say the skull got crushed in first.
Could it have been a hyena?
I don't know yet.
That was the first thing that popped into my brain, too.
So it gets stranger. All of those that were lucky enough to survive their attacks. Remember, I told you there were 19 people attacked, but only killed 3 of them.
Oh, so all of these people saw this.
Oh, yeah. They did.
And they didn't have blow darts or spears?
I don't think so.
Well, they're slacking. They're fucking up, buddy.
Or maybe guns?
Yeah, I was going to think it's 2003.
Oh, that's right.
Maybe they had some guns.
I know, but I'm still thinking, I don't know.
What, they didn't have no boomerangs? What's going on here?
Oh, man.
No atlatls? Come on, man.
Listen, my biscuit's not completely done in the middle right now. Go.
Fair enough. All right. So those lucky enough to survive these attacks suffered horrific disfigurements. Several of the victims lost either both legs or both hands, and 2 people lost both of their ears and eyes. One unfortunate woman had her nose and her mouth completely torn off by this creature.
To gouge out their eyes and rip both ears off, that's not like one swipe.
Imagine being the guy who survived this attack and lost both of his legs.
I could deal with losing both legs, but if you just got attacked by this random ass beast that just ravaged your village and then you lost your eyesight and your hearing, bro, I would be that's a whole level of PTSD that it's just
whole nother level,
because you're so you can't see where you're going, and none of those fucks are going to help you out because they're all running in different directions, and then you're just standing there.
Speaking of running, in the wake of this attack, over 4,000 people left the area of Dawa to seek refuge in the town halls.
But in the early 2000s, there was a lot of ethnic cleansing and wars that were going on. Who's to say it wasn't just rebel factions going through towns with machetes? And then
ripping
they're
people's
afraid
faces off. Well,
then they're afraid they're going to come back.
Survivors of the attacks.
That's what I'm saying. How do you know that the survivors wouldn't? I mean, you wouldn't want to put out who this rebel faction that's going to blame them.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. It maybe it would put them on the map. Maybe they think it'll increase tourism. All you hunters can come out here to Malawi in our village. And
And get your privates eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But while you hunt this, please partake in our fruit stand.
Well,
Yeah.
the officials, as official as it gets over there in that region of the world, the officials claimed that it was a hyena that was attacking these people. However, the people that saw this thing claimed that it was not any kind of hyena they'd ever seen.
And they would know.
Yeah, I would say they would know. To this day, what the beast was or where it went remains, a mystery.
They never caught it?
Unless you believe the hyena theory. Nobody knows.
Hyenas run in pack.
I mean,
Yeah.
typically.
And they laugh.
Yeah, they make funny noises.
So one hyena, I would think a village could kill it.
Or at
I
least
don't know, hyenas are pretty badass.
yeah, they are badass critters, and
They're
their
big.
jaw strength is ridiculous too.
That's great, but
easily crush a skull.
but you got 25 villagers with weapons. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but with what weapons?
They've got
blow darts and atlatls, or did they have guns?
They have machetes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not gonna fend off a fucking hyena with a machete.
If it's coming at me and it's going to eat my weewa, I mean, absolutely a slash.
Weewa.
You'll never take me alive.
Not me and my weewa.
Savage.
Oh,
That's crazy though. So how long did it go on for?
I think it was just a couple months during the early months of 2003, and these people, like thousands of people, left that little town in that area, to go, and they took refuge in the town halls and stuff, and they only returned home when they had armed guards to take them home, like they were that scared of it.
But then it never had, like, it stopped as quick as it started.
Yeah, pretty much. It stopped a little while afterwards, and people went back to their homes.
You know what that reminds me of? Did you guys ever see that movie, The Ghost in the Darkness?
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a good movie, man. I like the movie.
So
flick.
I've actually seen the pair of
In
lions.
Chicago?
Yeah, I went to Chicago, and it's in the Field
Oh.
Museum.
I'd want to go, man. I've seen the pictures of the taxidermy though, and I'll be honest with you, man. I look at those lions and I'm like, you guys don't really intimidate me,
Yeah. Well, for those that
don't
don't
know.
know, or who hasn't seen The Ghost in the Darkness, it back in Kenya in like the late 1800s, early 1900s, there were these two Savo. It was a pair of male lions, and in 9 months they hunted humans and they killed over 130 people.
Wow.
Yeah, Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, they were the two in the movie, but they had to bring in the specialist from outside to hunt them and kill them. And the real bodies, they stuffed them, and they're in the Field Museum in Chicago, Illinois. They hunted the humans for the kill, not to eat them. They didn't eat them. So that's what this story kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, this thing only ate their weewas.
That's what she said.
And the reason why that to me is just so disturbing is because you guys have hoo-hoos and they can bite off a hoo-hoo. But this sounds awful, to eat the weewa out. I mean, how does that even work?
Chomp the whole groin out of
they
there,
are.
I guess.
I mean, there's
They
nothing
got some
really to
good
bite
bite
off.
force.
Really, everything's tucked neatly inside.
I don't know, man. I don't know how it works. You know what else could crush a skull, though?
A rock.
A damn evil ass monkey, or maybe an ape, chimp.
Yeah, and those'll take your nose and your
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah, they will. That's what I immediately thought of when I heard this story. I was like, man, that sounds like one of those evil chimps over there, whatever they are, that fight each other, that wage war on each other,
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, man, that stuff is crazy.
They like rip each other's faces off and shit all the time.
And they're
Yeah.
incredibly strong. They can crush a skull with their hand.
Yep.
They get war parties together and go to the other monkey's freaking house and terrorize
Yeah.
them. That's
Kill them.
nuts, man.
Wage war on them. It's
And they're
wild.
extremely intelligent, so they know how to hunt.
Chimps, chimpanzees.
Now the thing is, I don't know
orangutans.
if those are like in this area of Africa or not. I don't know. I didn't do that much research on it. I'll admit it.
Malawi has gorillas, African gorillas. Oh, they've
It's got the chimps,
Yeah.
chimpanzees.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
see, it could have just been a chimpanzee.
could have been a rogue chimp out there just crushing people's skulls and eating their wee waws.
vicious.
Just vicious little bastards.
It's just awkward. It's just
man.
unnecessarily awkward.
So that's all I got for you tonight. If you guys were offended by anything that we said tonight about your country or anything like that,
We're Americans. We have the tact of bowling balls. If you are from Africa, we need to know, and particularly been to Malawi. We kind of want to know your take, your take. And I also want to point out for our listeners, if you didn't know, if you want to send us questions, if you go on our website and you go down to the bottom and right, any of the pages on our website, there's a little microphone button. You can click that microphone button and ask us questions, and it will send it to us, and we will answer your questions. We'll actually play your question and we'll answer it. So wherever you are, if you have a question for us, send us a voicemail message. We want to hear from you guys. We'll play your voice. You'll be on the pod with us.
shit.
Yeah, that's dope as fuck, man. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's
Can I go on there and do
you
that?
absolutely can, Wes, and I know you will.
Hell yeah.
Well, that's it for tonight, folks, for our man-eating monsters. Hope you enjoyed.
What's the lesson today, Wes? How are you going to take us out of this?
All right. If you're gonna go to Africa, protect your hoo-ha. Go fuck yourself.
As you talk about hoo-haws, protect your hoo-ha and just fuck yourself.
Perfect.
Great.